of your day. Let me just mute everybody. Where can I do this? Enrique, can you mute, please? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So I lost my train of thought. More vocabulary. My train of thought, el hilo, ¿no? De pensamiento. So let me get back because estaba diciendo 2.5 hours, 4 hours, right? So it used to be 4 hours. There's new studies that have shown that with 2.5 hours per day, you could achieve bilingualism in your child. So that's good news. It's very easy to accomplish 2.5 hours per day. I always recommend that when we're introducing English, we use all the resources that we have at hand. So the easiest resource is television, or whatever is considered television nowadays, because YouTube and Netflix and all that. Television in English, books in English, and if you don't speak English, which you guys do, audiobooks. Then there's music in English, there's play in English, and speak in English. So it's very easy to accomplish 2.5 hours. If you have 20 minutes of TV or videos, 20 minutes of music and dancing and singing, 20 minutes of reading at night, for example, 20 minutes of play, which is very easy to accomplish, even for busy moms. And we must dedicate some time to our children, right? To create the safe attachment and all this. And then there's the speaking, which might be harder for all of us to do because we feel tired, or we feel we are not able to find the right vocabulary, or we feel embarrassed. But you have 4 other options that you can use to introduce English at home, and they're very good resources. So there really is no excuse to not introduce English at home, okay? So to make it easy, one of the most, out of these 5, of course, speaking is the hardest, and then playing in English is probably the hardest as well. The other ones, we can sing songs, we've got songs to follow along with, we can watch videos, and we can watch TV. But with playing, we have to come up with the vocabulary, right? So let's go through first the stages of development, because there are parents with different ages in the group. I have parents who have babies, toddlers, infants, and so forth. So let's just go over this for a moment. We have 0 to 1 babies use their bodies mainly to discover their world and learn to participate. Make sure, please, everybody, make sure you're muted. Micrófonos apagados. Thank you. They learn to participate and control in simple interactions. They recognize colors, sounds, objects, textures, and tastes. They use their body a lot. So it's a lot of tummy time. It's actually part of the stimulation. It's called tummy time. Es ponerlos en la barriguita, ¿no? Y que they learn how to crawl, and then they learn how to walk. So some appropriate games to play with babies is using objects like mobiles. Mobiles are the ones that go around on top of the, it's the same word in Spanish, móviles, no? Rattles, which are the shakers, toys with wheels, stacking and nesting toys. So stacking is when you put one on top of the other, stack them, that would be the verb. And nesting are toys that are one inside the other. So for example, the Matryoshka dolls, the Russian dolls that you put one inside the other, or the Montessori toys, they're called nesting toys. Unbreakable mirrors, washable stuffed animals. So stuffed animals for all ages. This is a word many always in my classes, they ask me, ¿cómo se dice peluche? Stuffed animals and dolls. So dolls could be baby dolls, or they could be like little toys, like the Playmobil dolls. They're all called dolls, okay? And then cloth and heavy cardboard books, right? So we do not recommend the use of electronics or screen time. It's called screen time until after the age of 2, okay? So you could listen to music and you could read books, but it wouldn't be recommendable to put the baby in front of the TV, just in case somebody was wondering. So then we come to the toddlers. Toddlers means children that walk. So first we have babies or infants, and then we get to the stage where they toddle. To toddle is como tambalearse, no? So babies have this like duck walk and they toddle, right? So that's why they're called toddlers. And so toddlers have new mobility, they can go places, and so they like to play other kinds of games. Let's have a look. We have pull and push toys. Pull and push toys could be anything with wheels, or a train, or you know, these little like scooters, like little motorbikes or little bicycles that they can push, and then they can also go on, and you know, blocks, which I'm sure you know what they are, balls, Play-Doh, and then craft sticks and wooden rollers, right, to roll. Picture books, containers. So what you call Tupperware, los tupper, containers. That's the word in English. Scoops. Scoop is like a big spoon, and you can scoop, for example, ice cream scoop. Es cuando haces una bola de helado, pues scoops. We usually use scoops. And sifters. Sifters son los que le pones la arena y haces así. Anyway, you know what I mean. And other objects for sand and water plays. So this is when Montessori introduces the buckets and they put sand or water inside. This is a great time to play with those. And then there's dramatic play. So dramatic play means let's play dress up, let's play make believe. So dress up is disfrazarse, and make believe is to pretend. Let's pretend to be somebody else. So we could say, let's play make believe. I'm going to make believe that I'm shopping and you are selling fruit and vegetables. And then we could use this activity to learn vocabulary for fruit and vegetables, or it could be anything. They could sell a shop with clothes, and then we can practice vocabulary for clothes. You get the idea, right? The telephone, the stuffed animals again, baby dolls. They love playing mommy and daddy. Let's play mommy and daddy, or I'm going to be the baby, that kind of game. Peg top puzzles. Okay, so peg top puzzles are the puzzles, right, that have pegs on top so that they're easy to lift the piece. Tienen como un agarrador arriba en las piececitas. Those are pegs. So it's called peg top puzzles. And then climbing structure, right? Kids at this age are starting to climb, but not very high. Okay, todo bien hasta ahora? Everything good? Let me just check the messages. Marta, you can't hear anything? ¿Todo va bien? All good, everybody? Thumbs up? Okay. Great. Do you have any questions? No? So then we come to the stage of preschoolers, or what we call preschoolers. So this is the age 3-5. And this is when children start going to preschool or kindergarten. Sometimes I use a lot of American now, since living in the Dominican Republic. I was working at an American school, and so I've picked up a lot of American vocabulary. So you might be surprised or you might find it strange. I sometimes use American words. I sometimes use British words. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it's that important, but some people have asked me, oh, I've never heard this word. And I was quite surprised. Okay, so preschoolers, or pre-K, as the Americans like to say, are children that are starting to make friends and go to school, and they don't spend so much time with mom and dad. They have new things to play with now. They go to the playgrounds and they develop larger motor skills, right? So the kind of games that would be appropriate to play with our child in this stage are construction toys that interlock. So interlocking pieces are, se enganchan, interlock. There's dramatic play again, so make believe or pretend play. And we can play gas station, post office, store. So now the child is not is out in the world, right? And knows about other professions and other things that exist in the world. So we can start incorporating more vocabulary. Remember that when we start speaking English at home, we start with very, very limited vocabulary, which is why I consider it's easier to start when they're babies, because we can learn with them and develop our vocabulary along with them and make it more complex. At this stage, we're playing puppets. I'm sure you know los muñequitos de mano. My Spanish is terrible when I go into English. Art materials such as, and then we have markers, rotuladores, paint, scissors, glue, an assortment, so a variety, an assortment of blank paper and various colors and textures. So we can introduce also, apart from colors and shapes and stuff, we can say rough. Rough is espero, or smooth, que es liso. Simple musical instruments, noise makers. So noise makers are instruments which are not instruments. For example, the shakers, los huevitos estos de arena, they're called shakers or noise makers. Luego está la pandereta esta con las bolitas que da vueltas. That's a noise maker. It's not really an instrument, but it's a noise maker. So you could say to your child, stop it with the noise maker, including shakers and rhythm sticks, the sticks that you like bang together, wheel toys, such as bikes and wagons, outdoor play materials, balls, bats, no es murciélago, sino bat de béisbol, bubble blowers, ¿sabéis las cositas de burbujitas? They're called bubble blowers, liquid soap, and giant chalk. La tiza para las calles, para hacer juegos en la calle, se llama chalk or giant chalk. And then, of course, there's a lot of outside play. So there's going to be rocks, sticks, and leaves. So whatever, you're going to see a lot of different types of games, but you want to prepare in advance your vocabulary. Like if you're going to say, today I'm going to introduce English at the playground, then introduce the playground vocabulary and phrases, and then take a notebook or your phone and write down whatever you were not able to say so that you can look it up or ask me or find out later. Okay, so then Cincodeditos is about 0 to 5, but a lot of you started a long time ago and are still here. So thank you for that. I have 5 to 8. So the children between 5 and 8 of course, are becoming more independent. Now we're looking to develop their cooperation with us to develop the conflict resolution with their friends and also at home, to follow rules, right? As in board games, for example, taking turns, roll the dice, you miss a turn. I have a chapter for this in the course. They start playing sports. You might want to look up football vocabulary, for example, or soccer, if it's very popular in this country. So I'm sure a lot of the boys are going to be playing soccer. So soccer is the American word and football is the British word. They're going to develop skills to organize objects, ideas. So it's really good to have also educational books at this point, not only storytelling books, but books where they have to solve puzzles, or they can, the Usborne books, I've shown a few in the past where they like have to find things on the page, or there's the wipe and clean. They're also really entertaining, like doing arts and crafts. Arts and crafts es manualidades. For example, I write here magic tricks using the letters and the numbers. This is a very important stage to develop this part. So that's why I was telling you, I don't know if I have here, do you know the, yeah. If you know the wipe clean, I love these. My daughter had tons of these and she loved them. She learned math, to write, tons of things with these. They come with a felt tip pen and they're like a whiteboard, and you can erase them and use them over and over again. Not trying to make a sales pitch, but I just find it's really useful. And they develop skills and hobbies, right? So appropriate tools would be construction tools. So we can play building or construction. Board games that involve rules. Strategy, for example, checkers or jacks is a board game. Science equipment like magnets, a magnifying glass, a butterfly net, things to use outside, like binoculars, serían los cosas estas. If you want to ask me any word that you can think of right now, you can write it in the chat and I'll answer you later. Miniature models to build, weaving kits. Esta is very good. You know, to weave es telar. Los telares que puedes hacer así, that's weaving kits. Self-hardening clay. Es la masilla que se pone dura, and you can make figurines. So Play-Doh, you can use Play-Doh to make figurines, and you can use hardening clay to make figurines that will stay hard, right? Collections like stamps, coins, shells, sports cards, doll houses, and costumes. And costume, before I used the word to dress up, now we're using the word costume, which would be the suit you're wearing. So I could dress up as a witch. It's a witch costume. Okay. So I have to go forwards. Okay. I'm sure all of you know how important play is. As a little reminder, basically learning through play is the best way to learn, right? It makes it fun, it makes it enjoyable, you have connection with your child, it's all spontaneous, and you are connecting with your child. And this is like the best moment for them. They love to be with us. And the best part of the day is when they are with mom and dad and they're playing with us and laughing and giggling and just deliriously happy. So anything we can do with them at this point, you know, like 20 minutes a day, even if we don't have much time because we work really hard, but if we could spend at least 20 minutes of really special time with them, it would be great. So basic games would be to play with sand. Okay, you know this, the little kids, we've spoken about this. With water, I skipped one. Oh, I went straight to Play-Doh. So Play-Doh, which we've spoken about, and here's some information which you might want to read later when I share the presentation with you in the school, la escuela, and the online school. So there's some interesting vocabulary that I thought you could use, like making dried spaghetti, kneading, esto es amasar, to knead, or to thread beads. Thread es hilar, ¿no? Okay. Dress up and role play, which we've spoken about. And then there's different words like an astronaut, a chef. So it's giving you ideas of things that you might want to develop and look up. Like I said at the beginning, we don't have the time to go over every single piece of word, vocabulary, or phrases that you might need. It's up to you to look them up or find a way to develop that part, right? Doll and character play. See, I put in the Playmobil here so you remember that this is the word for the minifigures as well, or mini dolls. I know one of you was asking me the other day, how do you say this? Drawing and painting, blocks, jigsaws, shape sorters. Shape sorters, you know what that means, right? To sort shapes. There's different toys that work with shape sorters. So these 15 games are just ideas that if you're thinking, oh, well, what can we play today? Just come back to this and you'll think of something that you can use to develop meaningful play that's going to teach both of you something, probably. Music, dancing, and singing. So I've always said that there's plenty of nursery rhymes and play songs, cantajuegos, that we can do in English as well with our children. We could, I could do a whole presentation on just songs that you can sing with your children. Maybe we'll do that next week. Imaginative play or pretend, what we've spoken before, running, jumping, climbing, swinging. Nature play, we've spoken about this. Sensory play, so these are the buckets or tubs, as they call them in American, where we can, the Montessori tubs. Basic board games. And cooking, pretend cooking. Of course, this is a wonderful activity. It also teaches math and a lot of vocabulary in the kitchen. So this is a super activity to like dedicate a day to, like, maybe it's not for a 20-minute activity in the afternoons, but at the weekend you could say, okay, today I'm going to work on kitchen vocabulary or food vocabulary or utensils, you know. So use play for yourself to learn as well, right? Go forwards. And the cardboard box. So who doesn't love to just take anything and play pretend, no, pretend play with a cardboard box. Sometimes we buy all these toys, and in the end our children can have fun con el palo, un palo, no? So just wanted to put that in there. And in my research about learning through play and brain development, I found this incredible resource that I don't know if you know exists. It's called Vroom, or Broom, 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 like the car, right? And it's Jeff Bezos from Amazon. He has a foundation and he's created this app. It's totally free, and I'm going to show you. You're going to flipar. So this is room, okay, and it's all the science of brain building 101, 5 easy ways to help your children's brain anytime, right? Which is look what the child is pointing at. And for example, baby signs are really important at this point because they really make you aware of the fact that your baby is trying to tell you something and their attention has been caught by something they've seen, maybe on a walk. I noticed this with my daughter and I was like, whoa. Follow their lead. Let the children be leaders and tell you what to do from time to time. Chat or talk. Obviously, I always I always insist on talking in English and talking during baby signs to develop language. Take turns, which is a very important skill for them to develop, and stretch. And in this case, stretch is not about stretching, it's about stretching time. So making it go further, like, how could I make this more interesting or more fun or more of a learning experience? So those are their like key words or values, but this is the interesting part. So you log in, you create an account for your child, you put in the age of your child, and it gives you ideas to play each day, right? And this time, toy time with Naya. I said Naya was born in 3 years ago. So it gives me an idea. Let's make up a story about what your toys do when you put them away. So I think for you guys, this is an awesome resource because it's in English. It's going to help you develop vocabulary and other concepts. And then you can browse tips by activity. So this is almost my course. Like, what could I do anywhere, anytime, at the park, at the store, bath time, bedtime. It's basically as if it were chapters from my course. Getting dressed. It has laundry, meal time, snack time, playtime, on the go. So let's say we go into getting dressed. And it gives you it gives you examples of games you could play. So Simon Says with socks, or finger fitness, handy helpers, today's color, name that clothing, choosing clothes. I mean, this is like a tremendous resource. Let's see, Simon Says. And so it gives you a little introduction and how it would develop the child's brain. And then you click on, well, it gives you an idea of how to stretch the game if you have more time. And then you can click, we did it. And then it's going to update the development of your child, and it's going to give you more feedback. I think it's brilliant.